Made this out of sheet metal. Yeah, I went through the entire process of how I made this. This was a project that I wanted to incorporate a lot of metalworking processes into. Stick with me on this video. It's a long one, but I went through every step of the process. I just had a piece of sheet metal that was 12 inches by, I don't know, 4 foot or whatever, and I've been cutting these plates out practicing. And so I took the plates and then I cut them in half. Okay, so I got 6 by 6 inch panels now. And then I took and paint can, radiused out the corners to get rid of that. And then I went in 1.5 inches and marked it all the way around with dividers and a pencil, just like that. All right, and the reason it's 1.5 inches, so let me tell you, I guess I should tell you what I'm going to build here. I'm going to try to build a cube with radiused edges. I'm going to try to build, like I said, a cube with radiused edges, and I think that'll be a pretty cool project. I'm going to try to incorporate sheet metal shaping techniques, sheet metal welding, stretching, pre-stretching, so that I don't have that panel issue. And so by radiusing the edges, that means I can roll this edge all the way around and not have a corner to contend with. I should be able to roll that all the way around. Anyway, 1.5 inches is what the distance of this radius die is. So if I go from here over, it's about just an inch and, what is it, 1 3/8 inches. So by going 1.5 inches in, that ensures, oops, sorry about that, that ensures that I have enough room to do whatever bead rolling I want to do in the center. So I want to recess a few. I don't know what I'm going to do with each one, but I'm going to recess. I'm going to maybe do a cross pattern, maybe a cross hatch on one. I'm going to do a different style of bead roll on every single one. So what I did was put these on the English wheel, and I pre-stretched them. You see, I can hold this one. See, this one's nice and flat, both directions, nice and flat. This one has a slight dome to it. I ran it through the English wheel. You can see where I did that. I was off center a little bit, but I don't think that's going to cause any issues. But the English wheel will stretch it in 2 different directions, this way and this way. So I pre-stretched the center of this, so when I recess it, I shouldn't have any issues. It should be pre-stretched, and it all should go right back into position. Okay, so now we're set up over here to the English wheel. Ideally, you're going to line up the center here and the center here where your lines are, so you don't really go beyond that. So that's there, pretty much there to there. And then you give it a slight turn. Oops, I got to give it a little more tension. Okay. Back and forth. You can probably hear, sounds like there's some grit on my wheel. If you were doing aluminum, you definitely wouldn't want any of that on your wheel. Those imperfections would come through into your work. Again, remember, I am not a professional. I am just learning how to do this, so this is what I've come up with so far. Alright, and there we go. There's a slight arc, both directions. Okay, so I'll do that to the rest of the panels, cut off these radiuses, and then I'll come back and we'll go over to the English, or the bead roller. now that we got these all cut, let's head over to the bead roller. All right, so right now I've got what I was using as the crosshatch. This is a tipping die set, but this is the die I was telling you about. I put the rubber band on. This particular bead roller is an Eastwood, kind of resembles some of the other ones like Mittler Brothers and such. When I bought this, I got a really good deal on it, and I was trying to, I didn't know much about them, but I knew this was a good deal, so I got it. But I now realize that the Mittler Brothers brand gets, with the Jamie Jordan series, has the adjustable ends, so you can, adjustable shafts, so you can adjust these dies where you want them, so you can get different profiles. But until I can get something like that, I just install a washer behind one of them, and that will push it out a little bit and give me a little bit better profile. So what I'm going to do is take those pieces. Remember, they're pre-stretched. They got slight doming to them here in the center where I ran them in the English wheel. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this section in the center go down. And the way to do that, the way I've got this set up, is that this die is out and this one's in, so it's kind of like this. And when I bring them together, they'll push against each other like that. So the one on the center is pushing up, the one here is pushing down. So I want it just like this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run that profile right along this line I made with the pencil. I'll bring it right down here, start in the middle. Now I did not radius the corners for me to follow. I'm just going to do it by eye. And what I mean by that is I didn't put a line here in the corner to follow. If you wanted to be really technical, and you probably should put a line there. So by doing that, now I'm going to push up. Now the other thing, you can get a table for these, and I'm going to probably end up making one because the ones they want are they're really expensive, so I'm going to probably make a table. But by doing it this way, with the stop die pushing down, with the table, it will push down against the table, and that will kind of take care of what I'm doing here with my hand. So let's see how this turns out. Okay, that's not, I didn't stretch it as much as I pre-stretched it, so I'm going to go ahead and run over it again, see if I can get a little deeper recess in that. I'm pulling up as I'm doing this. All right, so there it is. It's still domed. Apparently, I didn't. I pre-stretched it a little too much, but with a little bit of manipulation with your hands, you can kind of fix that. So that one's done. Let's take this one and try to make it go up. So to do that, I would have to turn it around, or I can bring it over this way and push down on the outside and push up on the inside. So it's about as tight as I can get that. Again, I'm freehanding this. It's not the greatest. So there's that. Turned out a lot flatter than, say, the one that's domed. I don't know if you can see the difference there. Alright, let's try something a little different. So we're going to swap out the dies again. Okay, this time I'm going to run, I'm not sure, I think this is a 3/8 bead, but I'm going to run this. Okay, now it just grabbed right there, so let's give it 1 revolution and take a look. That's not much, let's give it 2 revolutions. Alright. There's that one. I'm going to go ahead and put an X in it too, see what that looks like. One, two. One, two. All right. Number 2. See what else can we do here. Let's do a V-notch. We're going to keep this die in and change the top one. Okay, let's do the cross hatch again. So I'm going to run this in here and give it 2 revolutions. A lot tighter bend than the other one that we just did. Okay, so see how wide that one is, and that one's a little thinner. Alright, so now we're going to switch over and do the cross hatch or quilting. Okay, start with corner to corner. 1, 2 revolutions, pulling up on the panel. X here. Okay. Move over.
Again, just eyeballing this.
Okay, that's what it looks like so far.
Okay, so there's a crosshatch, or quilting. Try to bend it by hand and get it back in shape a little bit. But, now you see with the pre-stretching, see how that metal's stretched up? There's a lot of stretching going on there, and it came out pretty darn close to being flat when it was done. Alright, so, now let's see, what are we going to do with this one? Let's, I don't know, let's try...
I'm not going to put a border on this one. Okay, so take that down. 1, 2. Alright, here's a crosshatch with no border. Do try that. Pushing down on this while I'm doing it. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Okay, I can see on this one I'm going to have to do a little bit of shrinking right here because it's like this and it's trying to go like that. So I'm going to take it to the shrinker in a minute. I'm going to finish the rest of these radiuses and then we'll go play around with the shrinker. One more. I'm assuming after I run these through the shrinker that I'll have to bring them back and run them through this again. Okay. Alright. Let's take it over to the shrinker stretcher and play with that. Alright, shrinker stretcher. We're on the shrinker side. So let's see here what I can come up with. don't have a very big throat on them. That's a lot better. Yeah, look at that. Big difference between this edge and this edge. Well, that one wasn't so perfect, but a little bit of hammer and dolly work. I bet you we can fix that right up. All right. Getting there. Well, I don't know what happened there, but we lost a little bit of footage, but let me show you what I got, and I'll try to explain the in-between here. All right. This is what I came up with. After running it on the shrinker stretcher, or the shrinker, trying to shrink these corners down, I went ahead and brought it over to the panel bag, and I had set up a couple of dollies like that. I used these dollies here to get the shape I needed. You can see I pretty much used this one the most, and then I just laid the corner on there and beat it with a hammer until I got the radius I was looking for, and then I fit them all together and welded it up. Just tack welded at the moment, so I'm going to go ahead and finish welding this in between, grind it off, and then I think I'm going to make some corner pieces, maybe some decorative corner pieces here, and then probably maybe rivet it in there or something, I don't know.